Hang a little longer, stay fresh a little longer with the big red. Damn, I am a grown-ass man. Hey, everybody, welcome to the America Guns and Freedom podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As always, this is just a conversation between me and you, the viewer. If you got questions for me, comments for me, you want to call me out on something, let me know. Just come on in here, use the live chat, send me an email, however you want to get a hold of me, ask a question, suggest a topic, etc. I will do my best to answer every one of them. If there's a technical question I can't answer, make sure you pay attention to the live chat because there's a lot of people in there with a lot of experience and they probably will have the answer. So pay attention and participate. Get to know people, build a sense of community. Now, I always like to start by reading the names of people who placed orders, but there ain't none today, so can't do that. But there's one. It looks like there was one. But that's because someone who won a shirt a while back is finally getting theirs sent to them. So we can move on to my little spiel about saying if you want to support the channel, all the way up there. There we go. If you want to help support the channel, you can go over to TYMPpistolproject.com. From there, you can either go to my Shopify page and buy merchandise like Pete's Grindhouse. This is one of my favorite ones. It's a mashup of Steamboat Willie and Planet Terror. If you know, you know. So you can get stuff like that. And there's 100 other designs over there. I guarantee you'll find something you like, if not a few things you like. And there's no limit. You can buy what you want. Like the trilogy of King of the Hill, you can buy all three. Go buy all three. Make me happy. But it goes to support the pets and it goes to support TYMP. So buy merchandise, support TYMP. And we'll have new recipients announced here on the 15th. If you want to go over to TYMP, TYMPpistolproject.com, you can buy merch or you can join Patreon and support Pets and Vets, the Friends program and the Voices program. Or you can join Subscribestar and support either TYMP or Pets and Vets, depending on which tier you choose. And as of right now, anyone who signs up on Patreon at a $5 or more level, you're going to be in the running for a giveaway, a knife giveaway. We're going to do it every day. And if you do it tonight, you'll get counted. But everybody who joins tomorrow, which there'll probably be upwards of 1 to 3 of you, you'll get to choose a knife from one of these knives. Where's the picture go? These were all donated by Daniel Pennant. They're all new knives. I do believe they're overstocks because they come in a little sleeve instead of a box. But they're all in brand new, unused condition. And there's Spartans and 8015s and all this other stuff. You get to choose which one you want. I'll choose your name. You get to tell me which one of these cold steel knives you want, and we'll get it sent out to you. So keep in mind, if you join today, I will count you as joining tomorrow. And if you're already a Subscribestar member, if you do a $5 tip or whatever they call it now, you'll get an entry for every $5 over there. You know, it's same thing with Patreon and Subscribestar. $5 gets you 1 entry, $10 gets you 3, 20 gets you 7. So that's how we always do it to incentivize donating a little more. But if you want one of these while also helping out pets in need, go on over and take care and do that. But otherwise, let's go ahead and get. And you can also sign up to be a beneficiary of TYMP over there. There's a box you fill out to get on the list. And the judges are sending back last month's as we speak. So we'll be announcing some other ones here soon. All right, let me get over here and see if we got any questions coming in. I don't know what day it is. It's the 11th. Here we go. John Heasley chimed in. John Heasley. Can we do a car chat soon? I would love a car chat. Maybe we should schedule the car chat to be like separate from the regular chat. Like we can say tonight, instead of doing, we'll do the shooting the shit. And instead of doing America Guns and Freedom, we can do a car chat, or we could do shooting the shit and America Guns Freedom. And then we can say, okay, we'll set a time for tomorrow or later or whenever, and we'll do a car chat. Like, what would be the best time of day to do that? Like, maybe the best time of day to do that's 5 instead of 6. But I would love to do a car. We do cars and wrestling because those are 2 things I love to talk about. It's one of the few things I love to talk about. It's been a long time since we have sent Long time since we have. Okay. Send me my stock. You ain't won the stock yet. Joe Pearson, son of a pear. Since today is my birthday, oh, happy birthday. But aren't you a little old to worry about birthdays? Every year someone asks me, what do you want to do for your birthday? I'm like, nothing. I'm a fucking grown man. Leave me alone. Birthdays are for toddlers. Once you're old enough to go to school, you shouldn't be celebrating birthdays. My family didn't really celebrate birthdays. We didn't get parties and cakes and stuff like that. My grandmother would make me a cake on my birthday if I wanted. She'd make me those banana cake with that meringue frosting. I love that. That was good. That was better than a present. The cake, homemade from scratch banana cake. It's with the best meringue icing. Just good. You should just go ahead and give me the 1022. I can't do that. That would be dishonest. If I would, I could. If I could, I would, but I can't, so I won't. Chrissy Jones chimed in and said, "Hell, Phil, would paddle shifters allow you to drive a manual again? If you only had one classic Python, would you sell it to buy a new one?" Oh, no. If I had my class, I wouldn't sell classic to buy the new ones. If I only had one and I had to do that, I'd just keep the old one. But paddle shifters on my car, I have paddle shifters, and it's kind of sort of, but it depends on what kind of transmission you got. If you got an automatic transmission, paddle shifters are okay, but they ain't great. If you've got like an AMT transmission, well, then paddle shifters are a lot better because it's more like shifting gears. Because in an automatic transmission, you're not shifting the gears at all. It's just set up to where it automatically decides what gear you need to be in and all this other stuff. In an AMT transmission, an automatic manual transmission, there's actually a little box attached to your transmission. It's still a manual transmission, but there's a box attached to it that is basically the brain of your transmission that tells it when to shift and actually shifts it. So if you've got paddle shifters and you got that, you're telling that box when to tell the transmission to shift. So you got more control. Which is why the Volkswagen, the Type R, they've switched now to all AMT. There's no manual choice anymore, which makes a lot of people mad, but it is a little bit better. You can still use your paddles fairly effectively in that. Like in my Mustang, the paddles, they don't do a lot of shit. They do, but they're not the most responsive, and blah blah blah. They're better than they used to be. I'll say that, a lot better. The Lobo's got paddle shifters, and I was actually surprised it did pretty well. If you put it in sport mode or Lobo mode, which is for track only, the paddle shifters are very responsive. I was surprised. I spent a lot of time on that question, answering that. Sorry, we don't got a lot of them, so it ain't going to take forever. Kevin Payton chimed in and said, "Hail Phil, ordering the new SIG P228 Legion X carry Saturday. I also decided to get the SIG Lock Romeo X enclosed red dot with the 6 MOA dot. It really not that big for self-defense use." I'm going to look that one up because I don't know that one. Let me see if I can actually share the window. We'll all look it up together. What was the SIG Romeo X carry? Hold on. Let me share the window so people can see what I'm looking at here. Wait, that's the wrong gun. I'm looking at the wrong gun. Hold on. Wait, what did he call it? I'm looking it up, but he said 228. I don't think he got a 228 Legion. They don't make the 228 no more, do they? Let me go over here to guns. I think he might mean the P229. Maybe that's what he means. I don't want store. I want firearms. Let's see. Do they list them by which ones are newest? It's all like P320s. I don't want just to see the P320s. That flux thing. Oh my God, that's so awful. Although I kind of want one. Let's see here. Which one did he say? Maybe he meant the P226, not the P228. The X-Carry Legion. Now, see, now that's nice. That I like. So let me share this window here so people know what I'm talking about. Let's see if he ever corrected his mistake. I'm assuming he's meaning the P226 since they don't make a 228, or they haven't in years. They did used to. But that's the gun he got. What was the sight he's putting on it? I bet it's the one in the picture there. Does it say which sight that's pictured with? Because that does look nice. It's not that big. It's just enclosed is the only difference. I mean, it's like the difference is like from here. Oops. The difference is like this area right here is kind of enclosed with a slant. It's kind of like those toppers you get for Jeeps that have the slanted back end. It's kind of like that. So, shit, I just closed the window. Did I? No, I just lost the window. Where's the site? Let's see if they show a link to the site here. They don't show a link to the site. You show it in the pictures, link it. Where's the optics? Red dot, pistol reflex. Oh, nope. Which one did he say he got? I lost the chat. Hold on. He says he got the Romeo X enclosed red dot. Where's the Romeo X? Romeo X compact rose. Romeo X enclosed. The Siglock Romeo X compact. I think that might be what he got right there. I'm not sure. But yeah, that'd be fine. It looks kind of cool, I think. How much is it? $5.99. Buy another gun for that. You people and your money. Y'all got too much money. Pay your tithes to Phil. You got that much money. Pay somebody else's tithes to Phil if you got that much money. Let me get back to the questions. Who was that? It's Kevin Payton. He's just throwing money around. Mikey D chimed in and says, because of Paul needs a hand, and what the heck, why not? Enter into something. Well, even if you won, I doubt you'd ever answer the email correctly. So I don't know if you'd ever even know you won because you don't like to answer emails properly. Clinton Barella, and you can stand under my Barella. And he's from West Virginia, I think. If I remember when I mailed his knife, he's from West Virginia. But he's from Morgantown, so which means we're bitter enemies. Because Morgantown is WVU, and I'm down in I went to school down in Huntington at Marshall University, which yes, I know that's also my name. But that's why I like the shirts that said Marshall. I'm like, that's my fucking name. I've still got a couple of the sweatshirts. Usually I wore fraternity sweatshirts, because I was on the board of my fraternity. So, but what did he say? Your opinion on 1791 holsters for revolvers. They're on Amazon for a decent price, and they're awesome. They are awesome. I've got several of them. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Yeah, right here, right on top. This one's not for a revolver, but I mean, these things, look how thick that is. It's not, it doesn't collapse. Can't hardly squeeze that thing together. It's well made, well stitched. It's got a double layer here at the top to make it really thick in the front there. Just really nice holster. I mean, these are really nice for off-the-shelf holsters. I just can't think of one that's better than these ones. The Azulas are almost as good, but not as good as these. These are just freaking awesome. So if anytime you can get a 1791 holster for your gun, get yourself a 1791 holster for your gun. All right, where was I at? That was Clinton Barella. Wasn't that a movie with Jane Fonda? Barella. She ran around in like a fur bikini the whole time. Paul Bidenbach chimed in and said, "Hail Phil again. I think there is a difference between trusting a gun able to function when needed and one's ability to safely operate the weapon. As per the manual of arms, I trust the P320. That's the same thing. I trust the gun. I trust it to fire when I need it to and to not fire when I don't pull the trigger. I just don't trust myself to be able to handle the gun properly. There's a big difference there." Oh no, I never put myself on live chat. Let me put it over here. I probably missed some stuff, but I'll get back over there in a little bit. But yes, I agree with that completely. That's my exact position on it. Stephen Albert. The stock looks great. Just the thing to get my grandson started shooting P's and V's. Oh, trying to win by pulling the heartstring. I saw a Sig Scorpion at the gun shop. Felt good, but don't know much about them. They wanted $600. I think that's good for one. I'm not sure. I don't know much about pricing on guns. I try not to remember how much I pay for them. And then after a while, I can't remember what's real, the price I actually paid for them or the price I said I paid for them, so I don't get in trouble. So I'm horrible about pricing on guns. But I have a Sig. I got it SBR'd. There's a couple of them that the barrel's just very short on that I think's too short, but this one's pretty short itself. But I wish I could get it down right there and show it to you because it's a nice looking gun. In fact, all my son's friends, that's the gun they want to shoot when they come over. They want to shoot that CZ. Let's see. What am I saying? CZ. I said SIG first, and then I changed to CZ. Let's get back here. That was Stephen Albert. And then we got Christian Carlson. Not to be confused with Chris Jones. And he said, yo, maybe we should break up the talk for best paddle holster, best inside waistband holster, strong side, best prison wallet holster. Well, the thing is, you don't usually use a holster when you keep a gun in your prison wallet. That's just more room being taken up. You just have to make sure it's a gun with either with a manual safety or a very heavy trigger. I don't think you usually use a wallet. Some people probably can. I don't think I'd be able to. I think the trigger guard alone is going to give me enough problems, much less a wallet. And I'm not up for that. I am not up for that. But paddle holsters, I do like a good paddle holster, I will say. That's just because they're so easy to put on, put off. Now, they're not easy to conceal. They're not the easiest thing to conceal because they stick out a little further than regular outside waistband holsters. But boy, they're so easy. I mean, I just like them. I think that catches us up with all the chats over here. So let's get to the emails really quick. Where are the emails? My eyes is giving me trouble. Let's see here. We got one coming in here from Ghost Shadow. Says another new inherited gun free to me. It's the Jimmy Knees. I'm not sure what model that is, but it's free Jimmy Knees. It's a JA9 9mm. A JA9. Well, it says right on there JA, but that's Jimmy Knees arms. So I guess they're not the model. I don't know. But for free, be good to keep around as throwdown, especially if it's not registered to you. Or not registered, not linked to you. Let's just say that. Also, we got another email here, also from Ghost Shadow. And it is, he got little baby deers in his yard, baby deers. We had a couple little babies up here yesterday. Oh, they were so cute. They were no bigger than turnip. They were smaller than turnip. They were so cute. It's just that time of year for the baby deer. And then we got an email here from, who is this from? This is from Frank Rodriguez. A man tried shooting an armadillo, but its armor deflected the bullet right back to the man in the face. Well, good. Motherfucker. Trying to shoot a poor little armadillo. They don't call them armored assault possums for nothing. I'm glad that happened to him. I care more about possums than people are going to be like, you care more about an armadillo than you do people? Of course I do. What a stupid question. People suck. Have you not met people? People are awful. Animals are not awful. People are awful. Every time I meet an animal, I've never met an awful animal. Never, ever. I've met some unfortunate animals and some animals that were doing what animals do. But I've never met a bad animal, a shitty animal. About 80% of the people I meet are one level or another of shitty. So and the other ones are just, I don't want to be around them, boring or something. So yeah, people suck. Animals don't. So that's an easy question to answer. Yes, of course, I care more about armadillos and possums than I do people. All right, let's get over here to the live chat. Rip Dr. Doom, aka Julian McMahon. When I saw that he had died, I knew who he was, kind of. I'm like, where is he from? And then it was like, oh, I know him from Fantastic Four. I'm out of soda. I'm going to die of thirst before we're done. But I don't remember anything else I've seen him in. But I know I've seen him in stuff. I just can't think of what it is. And I knew he played Dr. Doom, which I didn't see that. But a female tourist in Germany put her dog in a storage locker so she could visit a castle. Some other tourists reported her, and now she's in jail. Pooch is okay, despite I was worried about where that was going. I was worried about the dog was going to die. But I'd much rather that story end with the dog is okay and she's dead or in jail. So it had a happy ending. People like that shouldn't have a dog. Fucker. The latest breed of dog recognized by the American Kennel Club is the Danish-Swedish farm dog. It looks like a cross between a Jack Russell and a foxhound. Well, just looked like a mutt to me. Rip Joe Don Baker. That wasn't today, was it? Pro wrestling legend Wendy Richter just lost everything she owns in a house fire. Well, that sucks because I'm sure she wasn't doing that great to begin with. I don't know. She might have been okay, but yeah, that would suck. Let's get Taurus to bring over 30. No one wants 38 super guns. Stop trying. There's no point in it. Mike, he said wrestling cars. I mean, you don't wrestle cars. You're going to lose. A lot of people around here think they can wrestle a car and win. They'll step out in the road like smug, like I got to ride away because I'm a pedestrian. Well, it don't matter if they run over you. You can be smug in hell, I guess, but you're not going to win that fight between you and the car that you just stepped out in front of. So have a little sense and look before you step out in the street. But around here, they do not look in Portland, they do not look for a step out in the street. They just jaywalk, wander across the street, and expect you to stop. And then they get all smug about it. I've had people jaywalking, come out from between cars in the center of a street, get in front of you, and you lurch to a stop, and then they look at you like, you fucking need to learn and watch out for pedestrians. I'm like, I ought to just fucking hit the gas and pretend the brakes failed. Would you have voted for Nixon or JFK in 1960? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the top, not topics, but you know what I'm talking about, what the issues of the time were, and refresh myself with what their positions were, and then just choose whoever I want because it doesn't make a difference. Even the hardcore right Republicans are now saying, yeah, we got duped. We thought, electing Trump would change things, but apparently the system doesn't change no matter what. The people in power all want the same thing, no matter whether they got a D or an R after the name. Even Tucker Carlson was talking about that. I saw he's like, yep. Nothing's changed. Same old shit. Many believe Illinois was stolen from Nixon in 1960. Also, schools teaching sight words instead of phonics lead to lower reading scores. Also, Utah, a good pro-gun state to live in. I don't know much about Utah's gun laws because I don't go to Utah. I don't want to live in a Mormon state. But the rest of it, I'll take your word on. I majored in robotics. Now, see, you're going to be part of our downfall. When the human race gets overthrown by the robots, you're going to be one of the people that's at fault. I, for one, welcome our robot overlords, and I want them to know that I will do everything to help them, and will sell out any human I need to ensure my own safety. I don't really care for people much anyway, so I grind them up, use them for gear oil. I don't care. Put them in camps, whatever you're going to do. As long as I'm safe, I'll be all right. Supreme Court made half of Oklahoma a reservation for Cherokee. The case was regarding the prosecution of a child predator in a state court. Time to end reservations. No, I don't agree with that because we've got contracts with these people. In fact, the Supreme Court is saying, hey, we probably should be giving them more land back. Most manufacturing jobs will be automated and will be done by programmers, machinists, and engineers. Well, that's probably true. Smith & Wesson sent semi-auto production and corporate headquarters to Tennessee, left revolver production in Massachusetts, which is a mistake. Tennessee. I don't know which is a mistake. My brother moved to Alabama for trading helicopter army, and they had high sales tax. Alabama does have high sales tax. I will say that. You obviously haven't met a mouse. What? A mouse? I've met lots of mouses. I don't know what it means by that. I've met a mouse. Tell me I've never met a mouse. You've never met a mouse. Oh, you like it. Would you have voted? I just read that, didn't I? That was already, he repeated that. Donald W. said moose. I have seen a moose. Why are we saying I haven't seen a moose? I've seen mooses. I was at a campground once. I'm not sure exactly where it was. It was in Canada. I'm not really sure the exact location. But a moose got in the campground, and he wasn't hurting nobody, but he was intimidating because he looked like someone took a draft horse and stuck antlers on him. And if you've ever seen a draft horse up close, you know they're not normal horses. They're like 3 normal horses rolled into one. He got in, and they were like, well, we got to come get it. So they sent a bunch of park rangers or Mounties or whatever they call them up there over. And they all said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to throw this lasso around his antlers, and then we're going to lead him out of here. And all 3 of them grabbed the rope, and another guy threw it on the antlers, and then they proceeded to get flung around like rag dolls by a moose. They didn't have any control over him whatsoever, and then he wandered off. And I was like, well, that was stupid. Because he did not think nothing of 3 grown men. He just went, whoop. And then one of them almost got trampled, but everything worked out okay. George Powell says thoughts on hurricane states voting to end FEMA. Let them get what they vote for. Of course, the rich people will still get payouts from the government. They'll do special payouts for the rich people who lose property because they'll be like, oh, we can't afford to lose these properties. These are expensive. Just poor people won't get any help anymore. The rich people will still get loans paid for, still get special grants, still get reimbursement, but it's just poor people that will suffer. And if they're dumb enough to live in that state and let it happen, I don't feel sorry for them when their trailer floods. But it's a way to make sure all the resources go to the wealthy and not the poor people. The kangaroo that was drowning that poor dog was a bad animal. He's not bad. He's just doing what animals do. He's afraid of dogs, and dogs will attack kangaroos. So he's doing what he has to do to protect himself and his family. My state now requires license for minors carrying mace, non-resident sport shooting and hunting, gun clubs harmed, and see duck hunting guides now out of business. Yeah, it happens. I want 38 Super out of spite. Well, you ain't getting a 38 Super. So just settle the fuck down. Since you won't give me the stock for my birthday, how about one of your mare's legs? No, you can't have one of my mare's legs. No. Although I got it. Now that I have the one, I really don't need the other 44 Magnum one, but you still can't have it. Wait, I did get 44 Magnum, didn't I? Hold on. Yes. You can't have it. My new one's 44 Magnum. They have the right of way, but still be dead. Yep, they still be dead. We now have copperheads and bears in my parents' town in Massachusetts. 2 dogs near me bitten by copperhead. Massachusetts bans non-resident hunting with semi-auto. Fud's pissed. Why are the Fud's pissed? Today I heard about a man choking to death on a peppercorn. I didn't think that a peppercorn was big enough to choke on. I guess it depends on where it ends up. That's the answer to that. It depends on where it ends up. When I was a kid, I bit down on a peppercorn that didn't dissolve in my bowl of stew. It was like chomping down on gravel. Yeah, it don't taste great. It's like when you get a chive. You ever get those little chive things, black ones, like in a ham piece, and you bite down on it, and you're like, that you have a seizure because of it. It's kind of like that. We are about out of time. Let's see here. Someone, is it true that a tariff is something that American consumer pays and not the country that it's imposed on? And does that money go straight into the treasury? Does that mean Trump hates Americans? Tariffs can go straight into the treasury. That's how they design it. But it's not paid by the country that ships stuff over unless they're selling it here too, which is very rarely the case. If they're shipping it over, retailing it, selling it, etc., well, then I guess they could be paying the taxes. But if it's shipped over here by someone here who's selling it here, like if Walmart buys a bunch of stuff from China, Walmart pays the tariff to bring them in, and then has to pass that price on to the consumer, which is why they raised a lot of their prices. But no, the country shipping doesn't pay the tariff unless they're also the retailer. So if they're the retailer, yeah, but how many Chinese outlets do you know in this country where they sell their products they bring over? No, it's all American stores. With a 22 long rifle as a CC. I saw you sent an email. Where did that go? Let me see if I can find that. Aha, here it is. He got him a little 22 Pathfinder from Charter Arms. I wanted to show that email, but I lost it. Now I found it. Here it is right there. A little 22 Pathfinder, 8 shots of 22. Yeah, it wouldn't feel good up close. Hell, you shoot someone 8 times, that's a good size hole. If you hit the same hole each time. Or cumulative hole, I guess. But you got to do the drawing for the knife. So let's get that done real quick here. Let me go over here and count how many entries we got, and then I will do the drawing. All right. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then generate a random number. And the winner is number 4. That would be Joe Pearson. That son of a pear. He won the little knife. So send me an email titled Knife Winner. Put that in the subject, Knife Winner. And then in the body, put your name and address. And I will be sending you this little knife. Don't fuck it up like Mike D. Put Knife Winner in the subject line. Not inside the body of the email or anything, in the subject line. then send it to shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com. Shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com. So that's the end of the chat today. I want to thank everybody for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks for everybody who participated. Thanks for everybody who donated to the Pets and Vets Fund. Thanks everybody who kept the conversation going. Sent pictures to share. I will see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Before we go, I just want to take a second to remind everyone that this channel is 100% viewer funded. We don't take a penny from advertisers, retailers. We don't take money from political organizations. There's no one telling me what I need to tell you. Everything that we do is done through the generosity of our viewers, either buying merchandise or becoming a patron or a Subscribe Star member. You're all the ones that support Pets and Vets and TYMP. And that's the reason I can stay true to myself and loyal only to the people who watch my channel. And I can spend my time talking about what I want to talk about, telling what I think needs to be said, and giving you my uncensored take on things I think you need to hear. So if you'd like to help keep things that way, please support the channel by becoming a patron, a Subscribe Star supporter, or just going over to my web store and buying some merch. The links are all in the upper corner of this video.